If you had told me before I had any kids that I was going to have two daughters who are autistic, I would have been... A comment that occasionally comes up in the comment section is the fear of having more than one child who is on the spectrum, because in general you have a 1 in 52, 1 in 41, whatever it is at this moment, chance of having a child who is autistic. It seems like the number bounces around a lot these days. I think the last thing that I heard was 1 in 41. I just googled it a few minutes ago and that said 1 in 52. So whatever it is right now. I've seen the number cited for having a sibling. Once you have a child who is on the spectrum, the chances of having another child on the spectrum is put somewhere between 10 and 20%. I've seen it put at 1 in 10. I've seen it put at 1 in 9. I've seen it at 15%, and I've seen 20%. I don't think I've seen it higher than that. But those are generally the numbers. Somewhere between 10 and 20% are the numbers that are generally given for what your chances are of having a second child who is on the spectrum once you've had one child who's on the spectrum. Honestly, as a mom who has at least 2 kids on the spectrum, I personally feel that my odds are slightly higher. I feel like if we had another baby, especially if that baby was a girl, that I would probably have a higher than 10 to 20% chance of that baby being autistic. Our doctors can't tell us why and can't figure out why. I mean, they can tell us that we have some genetic mutations, that I personally have 2 genetic mutations. Paul has 1 genetic mutation, but they can't really tell us if that's why. For our family, Paul and I are both Roman Catholic, and when we got married, we knew that we wanted a large family. We actually thought we were going to have more kids than we have right now. And our kids actually beg us pretty regularly to have more kids because they think it's like a party. You can probably hear them because it's never quiet here. So I just end up filming when I get a chance to film. Paul's upstairs, the kids are upstairs, and they're all running around and playing and having a blast on this fine Sunday afternoon. The boys, of course, feel like this is unfair. We have more girls than boys, and the girls just love babies. And Tessie's probably the only one who doesn't have an opinion on the matter, but anytime they are asked, they all they actually had a conversation one day in a store. This is a slightly off topic, but we were in a store one day where they had a conversation between them where they decided that they wanted to adopt a baby, and I said adoption's really expensive, and so then they all started talking about how they were going to pool their allowances to adopt a baby. At that point I was ignoring them until they started loudly discussing in Meijer how they were saving their money so that they could buy a baby. And I was just like, no more talking. No more talking, guys. Which of course never happens. And we're just getting looks from people and this is why I don't take you guys into stores with me. This is why I go shopping by myself. Oh my gosh. For me, I am personally extremely glad that we did not stop with Maggie. I am glad that we have the 5 children that we have. I can't really imagine life without all of them, and it feels like our house would be really quiet, even though it's also really loud at times. And Tessie is just such a sweet, easy little toddler. I'm not sure what the future holds, but she is so loving and cuddly, and honestly, our experience with her is entirely different than it was with any of our other kids. I don't know, she's just so quiet, and the addition of Tessie to our family was definitely a blessing. And I think they're playing hockey upstairs. Please be quiet so Mom can make a video. Bang, 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 bang. It's like they let a troll in the house. Anyways, if you had told me before I had any kids that I was going to have 2 daughters who are autistic, I would have been beyond terrified. I remember reading articles in the parenting magazines about autism, and it literally sounded like the worst thing that could happen to you. The way that those articles were written sounded like an absolute nightmare. They were so far from the reality of our lives, even on our bad days, that they aren't what it's like. They don't describe what life with our children's like. And honestly, that's partially why I have this vlog. And partially why I have this channel, because I want to show people that. I want to take a little bit of that fear away. And also the stigma that comes along with so many of the articles and so many of the commercials and so much of what has been put out there. I wanted to pull away just a little bit of that and show a glimpse of something else, something that is better than that, because what you see on this channel is our reality. Absolutely, there are hard days, and sometimes there are scary days, like the days that involve eloping is what I'm thinking about when I say scary. But I'm really thankful for our 2 little girls who have absolutely blessed our lives, and I can't imagine our lives without any of our children. We are also often asked if we're going to have any more. My answer right now is that I hope not. The main reason I hope not is because pregnancy is really, really hard for me. Just that I need to be able to walk, and I can really barely walk when I'm pregnant. Between like last time I was really, really sick with my kidneys, and it was not good. I had to be on antibiotics for like 7 months with Tessie and was hospitalized, and I just have a tendency to get really sick, not in a morning sickness way, but in a my immune system just bites the dust when I'm pregnant. Each pregnancy has gotten harder and harder. I also am not hoping to have a 6th C-section. I'm also very aware that we may be caretakers for 2 of our girls for our entire lives, and that job right now is really taking my full attention. And the kids constantly point out that I'm so old that I probably don't have anything to worry about. They really say that. They really say that every time it comes up. Like, well, we'd like another baby, but mom's so old. Like, guys, seriously, I'm 37. But James thinks I was alive during dinosaurs, so I mean. But honestly, for us, it was never that scary. The idea of having another one, everyone was always excited, and they were all wanted, and we were really happy to be blessed with another pregnancy, especially after we lost Christian in the 2nd trimester, and we were not sure if we were going to be able to have any more kids. I think one of the important things to remember is, especially when you have a little kid who's on the spectrum, they're not going to be little forever, and for a lot of people that really is going to get easier. Developmentally, you may not know what the future may be, but there's a good chance that your child is going to make leaps and bounds. And when Maggie was 3, she was in the 0.05th percentile of kids on the spectrum. Honestly, I don't think then, at that point, I couldn't imagine her doing the things that she's doing now, or becoming the person that she is today. I'm not sure what I imagined. I think I was just so scared, and who knows where we'll be in another 6 years when she's 15. So yes, you do have a slightly higher than average chance of having another kid on the spectrum once you've had one. For us, in my experience, that 2nd time around has been a lot easier. We've known more, just having all these tools at our disposal and knowing what to expect the 2nd time around has made it an entirely different experience. I cannot imagine our family without Tessie in it. That is it for today. If you like this video, we would love it if you'd give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in all things autism, which is what we usually talk about around here, we'd love it if you'd hit subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.